Welcome back to Hypixel Skyblock Ironman mode. I joined straight into a Mythril Gourmand event, and it ended up being my most productive one yet thanks to the Esset's R326's 40% powder boost. I maxed out my Quick Forge perk, upgraded my Core of the Mountain, and put the rest of my powder into Mining Spread. I finally gave my chicken minion its long-awaited enchanted egg upgrade, the resources from which I will soon use to craft a Mythril Golem pet. Then I went to go kill a few cows, crafted a cow minion, and gathered a medium storage and super compactor for it. This little guy will not take me very long to get me the enchanted leather I need. Next on the chopping block is a lot of coal. I'm looking to get the Mythril infused fuel tank, which raises a drill's fuel capacity to 10,000. As part of the recipe, I need 5 fuel canisters, which requires 10 enchanted coal blocks. I'll also be getting an extra 2 so that I can make an enchanted lava bucket. One small break in between for a Mythril Gourmand event that brought me to mining 34, then straight back to mining coal till I got everything I needed. My forge was full though, so I stashed them away for later. In the meantime, I wanted to dive into foraging and level up my hunting skill, so I quickly grinded a Tricapitator and headed back into Galatea, where I started by mostly aimlessly hunting a variety of different enemies for their shards and milestones. The most important of these currently is the Hideon Leaf shard, since its attribute gives extra block fortune. I also gathered cod shards and salmon shards, eventually reaching hunting level 15. Plus, there were a bunch of invisibugs, the shards of which increase the chance of rare garden visitors. Now, my actual intention here is to forage and level up the Heart of the Forest, but I'll be hunting all along the way throughout Agatha contests. If you aren't familiar, these contests are hosted every Skyblock day and assign different foraging activities with points that place you in a certain tier, and the rewards scaling accordingly. Both the Whispers granted and the Agatha coupons allow you to upgrade a variety of foraging stats, such as Sweep. I'm opting to harvest Lush Liliacs for these contests, as they make it incredibly easy to hit some of the higher tiers. This brought me all the way to the Mythic tier, which granted me 50,000 foraging experience and, with the daily bonus, almost 2,000 Heart of the Forest XP. I also purchased the Extra Sweep perk, the Fig Personal Best perk, and a Frog pet, my first foraging pet. I then mass siphoned the 132 shards I've grinded here, which may have given me just a couple new attributes. It also upgraded my David's Cloak to Uncommon. While I was bolstering my Fig Personal Best, I reached Foraging 18. Believe me, the level ups come quick when you focus on tree gifts. This Dreadwing takes ridiculously long with the beginner lasso. I reached Foraging 19 and dropped a First Impression Ultimate Enchant from a tree gift, which will provide a nice boost to my sweep. Of course, I'm waiting to get a better ATS before I apply it. It'll be very easy to beat this personal best, but I will take my overwhelming 0.4% sweep. I put my 2 Heart of the Forest tokens into the Foraging Fortune and Strength Boost perks before dumping all of the Forest Whispers I had into Sweep and Fortune. The next thing I realized is that I've been cutting down fig trees with absolutely no foraging armor, and so I picked up the Canopy set, which will be needed later on to craft fig armor. I quickly returned to honing in on fig trees and reached Foraging 20. Eventually, a tree dropped a Sweep booster, which I applied to my helmet. Not long later, I hit the second tree gift milestone, giving me a monumental +1 sweep. That milestone is a little bit better. I slammed down another Mythic contest, completed the second Moonglade March chapter, and apparently phase skipped Foraging 21 to reach Foraging 22. Heart of the Forest 3 gave me 2 more tokens to spend on what are essentially bridge perks. I also applied 4 Foraging Fortune boosters, say that a bunch of times quickly, to my armor. A Tenderwood collection level up got me hunting 17, and I continued taking fig trees down till I'd gotten all the way to Foraging 25, reached Tree Gift Milestone 3, and gathered enough enchanted fig logs to craft a Fig Stone Splitter, which will become a huge ATS upgrade as I increase its log tally. Before leaving Galatea, I siphoned another 176 shards, upgrading all of my existing attributes and adding a few new ones. I went back to the Dwarven mines to collect my forge and start all 5 fuel canisters. I then dumped about 2.5 hours into diamond mining, with my early breaks being mining events, allowing me to reach mining level 35 and, simultaneously, Skyblock level 45. This netted me 10 million coins, which I invested into another booster cookie. I crafted a Mythril Golem pet, which will be crucial for Mythril powder grinding once I tier it up to Legendary. Morning soon came, and I collected the 5 fuel canisters before refilling the forge with the last of my enchanted mithril stock. Getting to Heart of the Mountain Sits is the big goal for today's episode, and that means completing over 200 commissions. They go by much quicker than before, so it's really not that bad. All that mining gave me enough enchanted mithril and titanium to fill out the rest of the forge. After another raffle where I didn't get 3 hits rewards, I saw that Jerry's workshop was open and I went in to mine some ice, as this is my only opportunity to unlock the collection. I also completed this extremely susceptible to lag chicken racing game in order to get the frozen chicken accessory. I used the ice on a few minions, which will be working to get me a frozen scythe. There wasn't long till the workshop closed, so I took advantage of that time to mine some frozen treasure, netting me a glacial ring for more magical power. And, while mining coal to get enchanted lava buckets for the ice minions, I reached mining 30 sits. I went over to the hub afterward and gave away the couple hundred gifts I accrued. Grinding commissions takes up such a huge percentage of the footage that I might as well take the time to talk about some of my plans. So far this series, I've been focusing entirely on mining and, to a lesser extent, foraging. This might be hard to believe, but there are actually other parts of the game. Slayers will be my next big focus, particularly acquiring the Slayer swords for the Revenant, Tarantula, and Sven Slayers. However, I'd really like to get my Heart of the Mountain settled at tier 7 and do some powder mining first. Anyway, I moved on after another hour of commissions to mining diamonds, reaching mining 37. This time though, I wasn't mining for money. The mithril infused fuel tank requires 5 refined diamonds, so I threw 4 more in. My mithril golem had reached level 100, so I threw it into cat to upgrade it to uncommon and then to rare, which unlocked a perk that increased my combat stats on mining islands. I don't use nearly as many bits on god potions as I get from booster cookies, which gave me the opportunity to buy a compact book for my drill. I put it straight to work gathering 2 more enchanted diamond blocks to forge my 5th refined diamond. I now had effectively all of the resources for the fuel tank, so my focus shifted to the mithril plated drill engine. Getting 2 drill motors means more treasure hoarder grinding, ore mining of most kinds, and a bit of glacial jewel grinding. The mithril plate will take second priority and will require me to forge more refined mithril using my existing stockpile. Alright, I'll spitfire all this. Glacial jewels, enchanted diamond blocks. Forging the refined diamonds, mithril gourmand, enchanted redstone blocks, enchanted gold blocks, enchanted iron blocks. Wow, I can't believe all that only took me 10 seconds. And now for the grind I was looking forward to least. I needed to get 30 treasurite for my 3 drill motors, and so I sat here for almost 3 hours, killing treasure hoarders while I listened to my Spotify playlist to keep me sane. The good news is, this is for realsies the last time I will need to do this, as all future treasurite will come from powder mining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 30. What? 5 through 29? Just use your imagination to pretend I cut up all the treasurite clips. I said at the end of last episode that I'd be getting a 355, but to be honest, mining gemstones is so crucial that I'm actually going to use the 3rd drill motor on a TX15. Alright, new day, you know the drill by now. I could finally start forging the mithril infused fuel tank, which will take almost 17 hours. I also set up the 4 golden plates I'll need for the drill motors and mithril plate. I time traveled into the future, claimed the golden plates, and started all 3 drill motors. No, I didn't do nothing for 7 hours, I time traveled, okay? I also set up a refined mithril since I was short for the mithril plate. More commission mining. From this and completing mining events in between, I've acquired over 2 million total mithril powder. In the grand scheme of things, that's not actually a lot, but it'll only get easier to gain over time. I hit mining 38, did many commissions, hit mining 39, did a bunch more commissions, and finally reached Heart of the Mountain tier 6. I reset the tree and redid it so I could unlock Great Explorer, the key perk for powder mining, as it increases the treasure chest spawn chance and makes them easier to open. My mithril golem pet was maxed again, so I upgraded it to epic, boosting its existing perks. I then claimed my forge output and started up the mithril plate, the last piece to the drill engine puzzle. Additionally, I started forging titanium tesseracts, so I could finally apply a mining reforge to my armor, one that boosts powder gain, mining at speed gain, and mining speed. I feel like half this video has been spent in the forge, so let's do something new, fishing. My goal is to gather enough rusty coins from the junk sinker for a challenging rod, backwater equipment, and a junk talisman. It's pretty basic equipment for the time it'll take, but fishing has always been a skill that starts slow. That's the thing with fishing, it is obnoxiously sluggish at the beginning, so I'll just show you the highlights, like that rusty coin. Fishing level 10, fishing level 11, fishing level 12, and so on and so forth until I got the rusty coins for the challenging rod. Plus, a sea creature had dropped a reforged stone for it that granted extra treasure chance. As fresh and new as fishing might be for me, 99% of its footage is sadly useless. I'm sitting in the water right-clicking every once in a while as I watch YouTube on another screen. Accordingly, we're going to time travel to 30 minutes later, where I got the 30-second rusty coin and purchased the junk talisman, which I was also able to upgrade to the junk ring as I already had the busted belt buckles required. Soon after, I got the 16th and final rusty coin I'd need for the backwater equipment. I set fishing aside after that, ending at skill level 16. I placed a fishing minion afterwards so I could easily level up each of the collections. Speaking of, leveling the tropical fish collection unlocked the sack of sacks, which I took advantage of by crafting a large mining sack. The final task of today's video was gathering the Sitz Fine Ruby for the TS-15. At my mining speed, it didn't take much longer than half an hour. Finding an area of ruby large enough to be infinitely mineable definitely helped too. For one final time today, say it with me, I claimed my forge. In goes the Mytho Drill engine and the Ruby Drill TS-15, both of which will see use in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for Heart of the Mountain 7, a titanium drill for real I promise this time, and an extensive foraging grind.